And I would invite her to, she had such spirit for all the holidays and the events. So she would go with me. I would invite her to the Kiwanis dinners at Pernicanos. Those were twice a year fundraisers. And she loved Pernicanos. It was kind of a hole in the wall, but it was a great family place and a lot of character. John Pernicano, you know, the great musician, would entertain us. But I hope I don't steal Marcella's story, but I just want to say about Halloween. Louisa loved Halloween. So
I'll have stories of that.
okay, well, I just have one, and that is that Marcella would get Louisa and get her a costume, like they went as pumpkins several years, and they would come down to my house and pick me up sometimes, and we would walk around to all of our neighbors that we knew and get treats and drinks and, you know, just have a great old time on Halloween. So Louisa was always up for that. She just had a spirit for life and a friendliness that I'll always remember, and she touched so many lives that way that, you know, that's why we have so many people here today telling stories. I will miss her. I will always think about her, and I know she's up there looking down on us and smiling and enjoying her new life, her new phase. Thank you. Yes, sure.
Hello, my name is Dennis Creamer. I live down the road here, half a block away from here. And so, first of all, let me say that Louisa loved coming to this library right here. So the fact that we're having it here means a lot. I think that, thank you all for letting us do this here, because this was her outlet, this was her getaway, this was her opportunity to feel like she was very much a part of this community, and she very much was. The way she affected our lives is she would walk her dogs over the years past our place, and I remember Evie was I think, I called her a pit bull, but Louisa would always correct me and said it was an Irish setter or something. That's not a poodle. Come on, I can figure that one out. And so she used to come by with all the dogs, and over the years she would bring me the sports page, because she would get the paper every morning, but she would never pay attention to the sports. So she would bring the sports page to my house, and then we would engage in conversation and all that. But she was but she was there when my kids. Jared's my younger one. Dylan's not here. But as they grew up, she was a part of their lives. And one time, they were helping her walk the dogs around the community. And I think it was a Saturday, so they had yard sales going on. And Louisa, every time she met people, she wanted to engage. She wanted to talk. She wanted to get to know people, and that's what made her special, is that she did want to get to know people. She was interested in people. And so at the garage sale, she's talking to the people that are selling the items and all that, and Dylan and Jared, they're holding on to the dog, and next thing you know, as Louisa's talking, the dog goes up and lifts his leg and urinates on the picture there, you know. And Dylan and Jared like, Louisa, we need to go. Otherwise, you might buy yourself a painting here, you know. And that's one of many stories, but that's the one I'm going to share with right now. Thank you once again, everybody. I know that Louisa is looking down, and she is very much smiling on all of us. And thank you all for being here and participating.
Hi everyone. Hi. My name is Erin Merritt, and I live just a couple of doors down from Louisa, and I met her about 7 years ago from, you know, similar stories to what everyone else was saying. I would see her walking down the neighborhood, and she was on my daily walk, and I was just so touched by how this woman would take the time to stop look people in the eye and say, how are you? Or, beautiful. She would always a compliment, always like, beautiful braid, or I love your hat. And she just had this beautiful spirit about her, and this sort of, it was like she brought the community together. And I just remember just being so struck by how she was able to sort of have that sense of spirit in, kind of an interesting 4-block radius. And I just hope that, we as a community can sort of keep that alive and look at each other in the eye and put down our phones and just sort of keep that spirit, because she brought that to me, and she was a resounding force in my life. I would walk out of I work from my home, and I would walk out just stressed about work or something, and I would see her, and we would walk down to her house together, and she just made everything okay. Yeah. It was like she had such this calming presence and just this beautiful, positive spirit, and everything was always positive around how it's a beautiful day and life is glorious. And so I just hope that we can continue to bring that to the community.
Thank you, Anne. Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm a little upset, so bear with me. But I want to talk about Louisa. I met her in the early 70s, or maybe mid 70s. She had a gypsy costume on. The most beautiful gypsy costume you will ever see in your life. My little daughter with me thought she was a real gypsy. And this was during the Halloween party at Martha Farnham Elementary. Now, some of you may not recognize that name. Martha Farnham Elementary was located on this site before it was a library. Okay, and before it was Martha Farnham Elementary, it was a trailer park.
Wow.
Okay. And how I met Louisa, briefly, was my husband and I and little daughter were kind of wandering around this sweet little school Halloween party. It was, I can't describe how darling it was. And they had a cakewalk. And Louisa, as we were saying, how she notices people, even though this gypsy was telling fortunes and had her crystal ball and had her card table and had children all around her. She was very engaging. Still noticed that we were a little family she didn't recognize. And my daughter did not. She was too young to go to Martha Farnham at that time. And she looked up and she looked at me and she went, "Hi, how are you? And I'm glad you're here. And would you like to participate in the cakewalk?" And I said, "No, I don't think so. I never win anything." And of course, that was that was fighting, words to her. And she goes, "Oh, yes, you will. I guarantee you'll win something. We got lots of cakes. Everybody brought cakes. I don't think anybody's going to walk away with that one." We won a cake. We did. And my little daughter won a fish in a plastic bag. And to this day, Laura remembers that. And she says, the only thing is, in those days, people didn't understand that you really shouldn't give a child a closed-up plastic bag with a fish in it. They have to breathe. And and you got to kind of open it. So she said, I didn't understand why the fish wasn't swimming around by the time I got home. And she said she also wondered why I was talking to a real live gypsy. She thought, she really did think Louisa was, because she got into it. She was talking in a certain way, and her outfit was gorgeous. I think it was made out of silk. It was just beautiful. And I don't know if you knew Louisa then. She was gorgeous. Mm-hmm. She was a beautiful, beautiful woman, both inside and out. She was gorgeous. Okay, and then the next time I saw her was in the 70s that we talked. Now, I was aware of the house because my little daughter would say, "Mom, the house is like the old woman who lived in a shoe and had so many children she didn't know what to do," because there'd be a gigantic ant. Can you hear me? A gigantic ant statue or
Sculpture.
thank you, sculpture on top of the house. And there'd be several little dogs running around on the roof. And there'd be children, running